Hi, everybody. It's episode 620 of PodQuest.
Hey.
Oh, I think actually my internet is still fucked. There's a major fucking delay from you guys.
Yeah, I mean, me and Drew said hey at the same exact time.
Yeah, there's something wrong
Like
with my
we
internet.
always do.
Say it again.
Exactly.
You guys record without me. I'm gonna restart stuff and see.
Okay. All right. If you can get back in, and we'll get on with it. So yeah, where were we at? Episode 620. Nice. PodQuest. Right. Is that how 620
nice.
is? And
yeah,
is it like
620? It's like the sex number and the weed number, but parts of
yeah.
both.
Well, that would be 692, or would that be 629?
Oh, yes is the answer.
And also, I cannot wait until we reach the 670s.
No.
But yes,
a year from now, the thing will be super dead by then.
I'll completely forget about it. Oh yes, this is Wednesday, July 1st. With me is hopefully potentially Cobb, and y'all know me, I'm Walnuts, and then we got Druten as
Hello.
well. And it's been a week. It's been a week, and it seems like we all had very busy weekends, and have some stuff to talk about.
It got hot as fuck.
It did. It did get hot. It got draining. I wanted to go to Too Many Games, which was this past weekend.
I forgot it was this past weekend.
Bro, you don't want to go. You know why? Tickets are almost $80 for a single day.
Really? It got up to that much?
Yeah, I think it's 70 or 80. I looked into it, and I think it was like 70, but I might be thinking it might have been $79.99. So
yeah. Fair.
There was either $69.99 or $79. There was a 7 in there somewhere though, so I think it was 70 in total. But yeah, I was going to go. I wanted to go. I was going to try to go on Saturday. But yeah, I saw tickets are $70, and I'm just like, that's too much. I haven't been to this show in forever, and $70 is way too much. So I did a bunch of other stuff instead. I went and saw my first, I guess technically second, but first drag show for Pride.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Haddon Township, or not Haddon Township, Gloucester Township had a Pride drag show at their community hall area, and it was Harmony Hall is the place that they held it at, and it was really fun. It had 3 local drag performers, and the MC is a local musician and singer that I have actually met through going to all the Pride events I went to at the Crystal Shop my mom started going to. So yeah, it was really fun. It was a cool thing. But I went to that Crystal Shop a couple weeks ago, and they had like a pop-up drag show where it was only like 4 performers, but they only did 1 song each. It was really quick. Maybe they did other songs later on, but we only stayed for 1. And that was the first time I found out that, you also are supposed to tip the performers. I did not know that, so I did not bring dollar bills that time. So I had to make sure to bring dollar bills this time. Yeah, it was a really, really fun event. It was really cool. But yeah, it was a very busy weekend, nonstop. But yeah, we got some stuff to talk about, I guess. Drew's gonna go over some concerts. If Cobb's able to come back, he's gonna go over Mina the Hollower. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the first 3 episodes of the final season of Bleach, or the possible final season of Bleach. I saw Supergirl. Cobb has both Superman and Supergirl, so I don't know if he saw both or if he just saw the one. If he just saw Superman this weekend, I don't know. And then I have some things to say about Captain America: Civil War.
You got
which while we're sitting here waiting for Cobb, I don't necessarily need him here to talk about it.
Okay.
But let's just kill time seeing if he can show up. We'll do that, then the music, and then we'll move around. We'll jump stuff around. It's not a big deal, but it was something I sort of live tweeted on Blue Sky about a little bit when I was watching it. For one thing, they blame they as in the government and everyone blame the Avengers on the events of New York, Washington D.C., Sokovia, and Lagos, which is the events that take place during Civil War. Drew, have you seen Civil War?
Yes. Do I remember it?
Okay. So at the beginning of Civil War, they are going after Rumlow, who is Crossbones, I believe is his character's name. And Scarlet Witch uses her powers to stop him from exploding and throws him up into the sky and inadvertently protects, not inadvertently protects, but happens to protect all of the people on the ground and accidentally causes the death of some people in a building.
I vaguely remember this, yeah.
It's kind of a lose-lose situation. Right there, like, yes, she could have maybe gotten him much further away, but there was really no, like, it's not necessarily her fault. The dude was blowing up. She did what she thought she could by protecting everybody around her, by throwing him in the air. It just happened to be that people died in a building. Like, I don't know how, like, if maybe there were more people in the building that would have died than people on the ground. Who knows? You don't know that. But they end up, when they're introducing the Sokovia Accords, they blame the Avengers. They straight up basically say, who do we have to account for events like New York, like Washington, D.C., like Sokovia, and like Lagos? New York as in Avengers, the first Avengers movie, where fucking aliens come out of the sky. You're blaming the Avengers on that?
I mean, the aliens wouldn't have come if the Avengers weren't there, right?
No, right? I mean, the Avengers, that's when the Avengers were formed, so technically false. The aliens would have been there. Technically, the aliens wouldn't have been there if Stark hadn't built his tower. Because the only reason they used Stark's tower to energize the portal, the wormhole, was because he made it a self-sufficient power source with its own arc reactor.
Right.
Stark. But really, it's no one's fault for that. Then they blame the Avengers, all of the Avengers, for the events of Washington, D.C. You know, in Winter Soldier, when they take down the 3 helicarriers. Not Hydra, the actual fucking villains that were going to murder millions of people with their algorithm. Like, how does that make sense? To blame people that actually weren't even in DC at the time.
Yeah, fair.
Instead of blaming the villains, which I'm sure you have a lot of the villains there, then you cut to, and I have to think about it a little bit, because having had watched all this, no mention of New Mexico from Thor, from the first Thor movie. No mention of London from the first Thor movie, or second Thor movie. No mention of anywhere Stark was during Iron Man 2 or 3. They don't mention the world's expo. They don't mention like the damage from LA or anything in I think it was Florida. I think they were in Miami at the end of Iron Man 3. None of that. They don't mention any of those. They also don't mention Johannesburg, which is somewhere that Hulk went on a rampage during Age of Ultron. They don't mention Johannesburg, which, yes, you blame the Avengers on Johannesburg. And yes, you blame the Avengers on Sokovia. But really, Sokovia, you blame Stark. He's the one who did Ultron. Because that's the other dumb thing, is you just had a movie, Captain America and Winter Soldier, about stopping the algorithm from killing a lot of people, and then 2 movies later is Age of Ultron, where Iron Man does the same exact thing that Hydra was going to do. He creates an algorithm, or an AI, to protect the world by pre-planning for disasters. Mm-hmm. So then when they're introducing the Sokovia Accords, they blame them for New York, DC, Lagos, and Sokovia, which is like, all right, 2 of them out of the 4, like one of them totally, one you missed out, the rest of them aren't the Avengers' fault. And then fucking Tony Stark throughout the movie is mad at Captain America for Sokovia. Tony Stark, the man who made Ultron, is mad at Captain America, the person who was mad at Tony Stark for making Ultron, for Sokovia. That's just toxic, man. I just, like, that's exhausting. Like, how could Tony think he's in the right at all throughout any of this movie? It blew my mind when I was, like, rewatching it. I was like, he's blaming Captain America for something that he did. So,
if I remember correctly, though, also I'm back and hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah.
like this was a build up from like all the different stuff between those two, wasn't it? And wasn't Tony was against Cap because Tony actually thought that they needed regulations, right?
Tony thought they needed the Accords. Tony thought they needed the regulations and the Accords. However, Tony kept mentioning Sokovia as one of the main reasons why they need the Accords. Tony is the reason for Sokovia.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not blaming that on Cap, right? I've only seen Civil War once when it came out, so some of my like memory of it probably not great, and also I've reread the comic since then, so I might also be like conflating the two, even though they're very different but similar in some of it.
Like he's not 100% blaming Captain America for Sokovia, but he's pretty much guilting Captain America for something that Captain America already guilted Iron Man against because no one agreed with them on doing that. And that's like the toxic part of it to me is Iron Man sitting here saying, but we have to think about what we did in Sokovia. But what we did in Sokovia was based on exact things that you did. We did what we had to do to stop Sokovia because of your murder bot. You need to take responsibility for Sokovia. Iron Man should take responsibility for Sokovia.
But isn't that what he's doing by wanting to like push for like the regulations and the Accords?
It's what he's doing by agreeing with the Accords, but when he sits here and says, think about Sokovia and what we did there, it's like, it's not what we did there. Like, you can't use Sokovia against yourself. Or you can't use Sokovia to help your cause, in case. Because Sokovia was no one's fault but his own.
I mean, didn't Banner help make Ultron?
Banner did help make Ultron, but it was Iron Man's idea to keep it from everybody and to not talk about it. And Banner is not part of this conflict because Banner at this point is off-world. So, like, yes, Banner is part of the problem, but Banner is not around. And I think this movie is also the movie that I don't remember the line. I'm pretty sure it was mentioned in this movie. Like, where are Banner? Where is Hulk? Where's Banner? Where's Thor? The two powerhouses. We don't even know where they are. I don't remember the line. It wasn't in this. I don't remember the line, but I could have swore that was part of a theme for this movie. I just don't remember it, even though I just watched it. But it was 10 to 12:30 at night when I watched it because I was just so busy on Saturday. But yeah, it was just a weird theme in that movie of Tony Stark using Sokovia, something that is 99% his fault, to try to convince Captain America that they need regulation. When Captain America's sitting here saying, well, we don't. All of our problems are you, basically. But it's also, again, like, they were blamed for Washington, D.C. Not the villains, not Hydra, not anybody that they were able to arrest from Hydra. The Avengers are blamed for D.C.
Well, and so to be fair, that is usually how the comics go, too. Because people look at it as... And like, all comics are like this. And I just watched Superman, and, like, Superman had a similar thing. Like, the people with powers get blamed because they assume if the good guys with powers weren't around, there'd be less bad guys with powers breaking things. It's like the Batman conundrum. Like, all of Batman's villains are specifically out to get Batman. Like, if Batman wasn't around, would there be all these fucking psycho villains gunning for him, terrorizing the entire city?
True. And I mean, you could counter argue, at least in the Marvel MCU aspect, in Civil War, I believe it was Civil War, you learn, or it might have actually been in Ant-Man, you learn that the SHIELD base that was destroyed in Washington, D.C. was in the middle of being built in, like, the early 90s. And so the Hydra influence, which has been around since World War II, was still within SHIELD at that time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Look,
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just simply saying that is the comic book mentality for this stuff. If the good guys with the superpowers weren't there causing bad guys to show up, like, it's stupid, but like, it's a comic book thing.
Yeah, it was like, to me, I was just like, this is ridiculous, man. To try to throw, like I said, Lagos, I understand throwing the blame on the Avengers a little bit. Johannesburg from Age of Ultron, I 100% understand blaming the Avengers. And Sokovia, I 100% understand blaming the Avengers, but really the blame falls on Tony Stark. Like, those three, I get. The rest of them, I don't. And that's just like, it was a dumb theme to watch. It was a dumb theme to see throughout the movie, in my opinion.
I mean, like, unfortunately, that's when you go back and watch them, I feel like that's a lot of these movies. Like, like in the back half, especially because like once you get past Winter Soldier, it's a lot of kind of infighting and like regurgitating the same stuff because they have kind of run out of.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
introducing anybody anymore at that point. Everyone's been introduced.
And you were resetting when I said it. Like Winter Soldier was stopping Hydra from creating an algorithm that will kill people, and then Age of Ultron was Tony Stark creates an algorithm to save the world. It's Age of Ultron is straight up. Remember what Hydra was doing? We can now do it because we're allowed and we're good.
Yeah.
No, like it went. Obviously, now they went a different way. They created an AI, and we've seen this theme in many movies, especially like another one that you can think of is Fifth Element, of like finding out what humans and humanity can do and will do, and seeing that they are the bad things, losing your will, or saying to save the planet, we need to stop humans. Yeah, like I get it, but yeah, it was like, and yeah, a lot of like Age of Ultron and Civil War was just mostly like the Civil War started during Age of Ultron, and it was just a lot of infighting within the Avengers. But like there weren't many like solitary. There was only one movie between one movie between Age of Ultron and Civil War, and that was Ant-Man. So we don't get to see at all a lot of.
Yeah, there really was. It just went. Yeah,
and it's like we don't see a lot of solo between those for any of the additional characters. Like
it goes very between them. No, Thor 3 was Ragnarok. Never mind. I'm sorry.
It literally it goes Winter Soldier, Guardians, Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Civil War. It's literally 3 out of the 6 movies in a row. 3 of them are basically team up films and infighting.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you don't get to see a lot of like them doing things by themselves. I do feel like they kind of rushed the Civil War aspect a little bit. But they were leading up to Endgame and everything else as well. They were getting ready for that and getting ready to retire Tony and Steve Rogers. So it made sense to like have that story, since that was a major story in the comics. But it did also feel like after watching them like this and being those 3 films in a row were basically Captain America saying that everyone else is doing wrong and being right about it. It's like, man, you guys made a choice and it worked at the time. But like, man, some of the reasonings for Tony Stark at least was bad. It was just bad.
Yeah. That movie was basically to introduce Spider-Man, and have the big fight at the airport. Like the actual villain of that movie, like what's his name? Zemo?
Zemo, yeah.
In the movie, he sucked. Like he was. I actually really liked him in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I remember thinking he was fucking wasted in the movie.
Yeah, like he didn't really have. They didn't have a villain. Like they did. They had the villain of Zemo, but like his motivation was. It wasn't that his motivation was weak, but like, yeah, he wasn't very villainous. He was just like, oh, I want to see the Avengers fall apart because what they did caused the death of my family. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, that motivation or that final goal of I just want to break them apart. I want to cause the end of the Avengers. That is like the weak part of it.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want to just completely kill them, and why not awaken the Winter Soldiers and have a big fight with the Winter? Like, it was a force-fed story to create this divide. To have, like, a character that could be really cool, just kind of be a one-off. And that's the problem with Avengers or Marvel movies in general. These characters that can be really good multi-tier characters, multi-movie, long-running characters, they end up only being like one and dones. And then like Zemo wasn't even a villain in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like he was kind of, but not necessarily a villain.
I mean, he was though. It's just he was not the villain that they were going after. But like, it's kind of like Loki and everything after the first Thor or Avengers, I should say.
Yeah.
But like the character in Falcon and Winter Soldier was an actual character versus a pretty generic plot device in the movie.
Yeah, it goes like it's also just awkward because it really does feel like all of Captain America's movies were team up movies. Winter Soldier was him working with Shield. It wasn't just him and yes, Captain America's always been kind of that like organization guy, but like it was the first one was his origin and like that was really the only solo movie.
But I mean, if you think about it, like Iron Man's kind of the same way. Like first movie it's really just him. Mm-hmm. Second movie is him and Black Widow. And War Machine.
I disagree with saying that like yes, Black Widow was in it, but she didn't play a major heroing part of it till the very end.
But she was a major part of it.
I mean, for the unsuspecting person who doesn't know who Natasha Romanoff is, you wouldn't know that she was a spy until you find out she's a spy, which is more than halfway through the movie.
Isn't that actually like halfway in the movie? It's at the donut shop. That's still fairly early, isn't it?
About halfway through, but like all she does is administers the temporary vaccine, and then she doesn't do any like spy stuff and heroing until the very end during the final fight, whereas then it's mostly Tony fighting the bots and she's just hacking. So like I'm not trying to diminish her role in the movie. I'm just more of a like she's not as much of a key character and like she's not as much of the hero character that you may see whereas in like in Captain America in the second one in Winter Soldier, like he's straight up working with Shield. He's doing missions with Black Widow, with Rumlow, within Shield. And like that movie should actually have been called Captain America and Black Widow. Like they were doing stuff together the whole time. And then in Civil War, like there's just not really been much of a standalone Captain America movie, in a sense. Whereas like even with Rhodey being in Iron Man 2, like it's still an Iron Man movie with his sidekick, and then Iron Man 3, it's an Iron Man movie. That's more of a solo film than any of the others as well. Like I think Iron Man 3 is more of a solo.
Isn't War Machine in the third one a lot? Just they're not together?
I mean, not really. Like he is, but he isn't. Like he's not doing hero stuff again. He's doing stuff for the American government, and then he gets called back, and they use Extremis to kit him out of his War Machine, out of the Iron Patriot armor, to try to like then use the Iron Patriot armor to kidnap the president and whatnot. But like he's not really being used as a hero sense. He's being used as plot armor in a sense. Literally. Like they need the armor for the plot. But like it's not until the final sequence where he actually does some fighting. But he actually doesn't really get to do much fighting. No, he does eventually get his Iron Patriot armor back during that final sequence. But
I only kind of like I haven't watched any movie past Age of Ultron more than once, or Iron Man 3, because I don't remember what came first, Age of Ultron or Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 came first.
And actually, no, I've never seen Age of Ultron twice. I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like most of them I haven't seen in years. Like the first Iron Man and Captain America I've probably seen the most, because like they're on television and they're kind of those movies where like if there's nothing else to watch, I'll like put them on and just like leave them as background noise.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it is just kind of like fuzzy memories at this point.
Yeah.
But sounds like you already talked about Captain America while I was gone.
Yeah, I figured we could get that out of the way because like the concert stuff, might not really have much to say, and then your game stuff, and then just try to hold off for you. So that wasn't supposed to be as long of a segment as it became.
Fair enough. Well, I guess Drew. Yeah, I already forget what concerts you went to, so I just put music concerts on the thing.
I mean, this week I only went to one. It was a Wilhelm Scream, the Aquabats opening for Streetlight Manifesto out at the Stone Pony, and thankfully it was super nice weather and it wasn't this week, and it's gonna be like 100 on Friday. But it was real fun. Although a Wilhelm scream was a real weird choice. Like, they were cool. The vocal mixing was real bad during their set, so we could barely hear at all. But they're like this like hardcore punk band from Boston that like super did not fit with the super kid friendly ska band in the middle, and then the like emo ska band at the end.
Okay.
But I mean, they performed well and they had a lot. They were cool, but yeah, it was just a weird fit. Then Aquabats are the fucking Aquabats. They're a shitload of fun. There were like 40 things flying around the crowd for most of their set, like beach balls, inflatable pizzas, sharks, and whatnot. And then Streetlight, that they're really good, even though there was a little. The Facebook fan group recently changed its name from Friends of Streetlight Manifesto to Enemies of Streetlight Manifesto.
Okay.
So they were supposed to put out a new album last June.
Oh, I remember you talking about this.
It like literally on our way home from Warped Tour last year, they announced that, hey, we're delaying it. They said it was still going to come out last year, never did. Then when they played their like Christmas show at Starland Ballroom, Thomas, the singer, said, we're not playing any more shows till the album's. Then earlier this year, they announced shows for June. The show at Stone Pony, shows in Maine and Connecticut or something like that. Somewhere up in the week before those two shows, which were the week before or so, the Stone Pony show, they canceled them because the album wasn't out. And they were like, we said we're not playing any more songs or shows till the album's out. And boy, that's a shitty. Kind of mad about that, which is fair.
Yeah,
it's like, just play the fucking shows.
That is also funny that they changed their name, like the group name.
Mm-hmm. But they're a fun time, so it was a super fun show and a cloudy but nice day out in Barrie there.
Cool. Somebody else was just in. Oh, Less Than Jake was just up there.
Yeah, that was the next night.
Oh, okay. It's a bummer because, like, if they were playing in Philly, I would have absolutely gone to see Less Than Jake again. But
it was them and Bouncing Souls, I think, right?
Yeah. And I think, was it last week or the week before? It was Jimmy Eat World and the Wonder Years.
That was the day before Streetlight. That was last Thursday.
Okay.
And the week before that was Hot Mulligan. I went to Hot Mulligan and Yellow Card and Newfound Glory. So I was up there 3 times in 10 days or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, it's just so fucking far away.
Mm-hmm.
Though Erica, for my birthday, got me Weird Al tickets in Atlantic City in a couple weeks.
Nice.
Yeah. I've never seen him live. I'm excited.
It's fucking real good.
I've seen like clips before and I've heard people talk about it. And I'm like, oh, no, this is actually awesome. Because the last time he was around, he was at the Mann Center.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it just sold out like fucking immediately.
Yeah.
To the point where like it was really only bad seats left, and I'm like, I don't want a bad seat for this. Like, if I'm going, I want to actually like enjoy where I'm at. Especially in the middle of summer at the Mann Center. Like, if you get like shitty seats there, like, it's just uncomfortable because that indoor amphitheater gets very warm.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah, I forget. Oh, we saw Baby Metal there, and like we were like in like the second section, but like with all the people around, and this was like September too, so it wasn't even summer anymore. It was stuffy as shit in there.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was a good concert. It was just stuffy, which is weird because it's also open. Like, it's not like...
Yeah, you would think it should not be bad, but...
Yeah, it's just like if it's like 80, 90 degrees outside and you have that many people kind of crammed together, like, it's uncomfortable. You got anything else coming up soon?
Next show I have tickets to is Catbite and the RX Bandits.
Nice.
Which should be real fun.
When's that?
The 19th.
Okay, nice.
Although, real quick before we get off music, what I was trying to say before the show to you, Walnut, I don't know if you listened to what I posted in the server here or the NO Discord, this Angine Deportine.
No.
I'm fucking mad. My algorithm didn't... I'm like 2 months behind on it. They've kind of like really blown up in the last like 3 months. Like I now that like my TikTok showed me them like last week, I've been like actively searching stuff on there's a performance on YouTube I watched, and then that's now fed more of the YouTube algorithm. And the lead singer from The Darkness has a YouTube channel where he like talks about music and stuff. And
I've seen clips of that before, and like I thought it was a joke at first. I'm like, oh no, this guy's actually like he's really doing it.
Yeah, no, and you know, he like legit breaks down stuff and whatnot, and you know, has seemingly pretty good opinions on music. Like I like how he talks about. But his video, when you know people were like, "Hey, you need to you need to watch this and react," was like 3 months ago. They had like 200 something thousand listeners on Spotify. They're up to 1.2 million on Spotify now.
Damn. What's the name again?
Angine Deportine.
Can you like just send it?
Yeah.
I'm certainly not going to spell that right.
No, neither am I. I'm also probably not pronouncing it right. French is it's weird. It's like impossible to describe, but because it's weird looping. It's a two-piece band. It's a drummer and then a dude who's playing a microtonal guitar and bass. Like it is a custom-built thing. Because he apparently used to just have both a guitar and a bass, and you know he's running them through loop pedals and whatnot and layering shit on top of each other. And a lot of these songs start out real weird, but then as more and more layers get onto them, it like becomes more normal sounding in a way, but while also still being in like ridiculous time signatures and in these like the microtonal notes that like aren't going to be on a normal guitar. So you know he's got extra frets in between normal frets on the fret, so you get like sitar type sounding things
Okay.
mixed in, and like I don't know, but it does something for my brain that I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking way into this. But so they like have shows. They're playing Underground Arts in September, but then playing Franklin Music Hall in November, and like the Franklin Music Hall one sold out the resale tickets 300.
Holy shit. That's too much.
Yeah, no, way too much. But that's why I'm like, man, if this got into my algorithm 3 months ago and I got them went on sale for, I'm sure, $40 to $50 or whatever, that'd have been a thing I'd have gone to, but I'm not paying $300.
Yeah, like that's how it was when the Wonder Years had those like 5 shows in Philly. Like the 2 I would have like legitimately liked to go to, like they sold. Like I tried to get tickets and like they just sold out too quick.
Yep.
And I unfortunately had shitty internet that day. I was at a client. And then the resale for them never came down. Like it was like $200, and I'm like, I don't want to spend $200 for this. Like I've seen them for way fucking less than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was lucky to get. I got 2 of them in the like pre-sale. Megan got one of them in the pre-sale, and then someone told us about the Facebook group, and we got tickets to the last one through that for like basic.
Nice.
So you know, I'm gonna keep an eye out when those shows happen and see if something comes up cheap. And
yeah, because sometimes like once you get closer to the show, there's people that aren't actually trying to screw people over that are just like, yeah, I can't go, and you know, like I put it up for a lot because that's what, because like Ticketmaster literally recommends it,
right?
But it's like, hey, the show is almost here. I don't want to completely lose my money, so how about face value?
Right.
Yeah. Or like a little bit over face value to recoup the fees and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But cool. Oh, and I see you dropped the name in there. I'll look them up after we're done.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's weird. Honestly, I posted the link to the full YouTube video of the one thing in the BNO Discord. Go watch that. I recommend watching them because like it's weird.
Okay.
Talking about way too much. Drew, we already mentioned this earlier, but Cobb wasn't here, so I want to bring it up again to him to see what he has to say. I was gonna try to go to too many games this weekend.
Oh, that was last weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was this past weekend. Tickets
are
about
like $70 for like just the Saturday now, right?
Yeah, that's insane, man.
Yeah. I considered going last Saturday because we weren't doing anything on Saturday, but Sunday was the 8 and Sand show.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe like I'll take the drive out there on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then I saw that like the 1-day ticket was like $70 or something like that before like fees and everything. I'm like, never mind.
Yeah, no, that was my exact response. Like I was trying to plan what to do, and if I were to do Saturday, it was going to be after. I wasn't going to be able to get out there until 1 o'clock. I have to be home by like 6 or 7 for the drag show that I was going to that night. And so it was like I was only going to be there for a couple of hours, and like, would it be worth it? And like, if it were $30-$40, if it were $30, yeah, it'd be worth it. But when I saw $70, I'm like, that's not even worth a full day. Like, that is a lot of money for just something to go look around and spend more money at.
Yeah, because and that's the thing. Like, from what I saw, like they've gotten bigger over the years, but it really is like a show for like collectors more than anything.
Yeah.
And like I'm personally not interested in the voice actors that go there. They had some bigger names. Like I think Nolan North was there this year, which is cool, but like I'm not gonna go get autographs. And like the arcade's really cool, but it's also very busy. So like getting into some of the games, like you might just be standing around a while if that's what you're there for. I didn't really look at like what panels and stuff they had. I know like in the past they've had some cool stuff, but like when you kind of like look at everything, it's like for me this is an $80 plus like the hour and a half drive each way.
Yeah.
Which is not quite that far, but like it's close enough. It's just like it's not there anymore. What if it's like $40-$50, sure. Like that's like a nice way to spend like your afternoon. But you know, like I'm not staying there all day for like the concerts in the evening. I generally don't buy much there either because like I don't collect retro games because frankly they're too fucking expensive. So like maybe I find like 1 or 2 games a year of stuff that like I either owned like when I was younger and don't have anymore, something like that. That's like a reasonable price. Or like games that like I just genuinely want to own like a copy of. Like I bought I think 2 or 3 years ago I bought Persona 4 on PlayStation 2. It was also like it was a reasonable price. Like it wasn't marked up. I want to say it was actually only like $40. And I'm like, that's probably about what it was retail at the time. So cool. I will buy this copy of Persona 4.
Yeah.
But shall we move along?
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Cool.
Tell us about Mina the Hollower.
It's really cool. I'm really bad at it. But I'm having fun with it. It's so it's a little Castlevania, a little like 8-bit, 16-bit Zelda. With a little bit of the like the Souls-like style where like Hollow Knight and stuff like that are the same. You know, when you save essentially like everything respawns in a given area. And like but I'm trying to think of the right way to put this. So everything respawns. All those points are actually laid out pretty nicely, and it's not when you save. Like all you have to do is touch the spot to save. When you actually go inside of like the room that it's a part of, that's where like it refills your health and it gives you back healing vials and like all that stuff. That's when it respawns everything in like the world. So like it's not one of those things where oh fuck, like I saved, now everything's gonna respawn. The saving is just like quick saving, like you just walk over the spot and the game saves in the background for you. It does have the similar like all enemies just fucking destroy your health. Like the littlest attack, even like falling off a ledge like takes like half your health, at least in the early part of the game. And it's got you can heal, but your health bar, it's like I don't know what if there's a term for this. It's got like the double health bar. So when you initially get hit, your health bar drops, and there's like a secondary orange health bar behind it that goes down with it. You can only heal up as much as you have of that orange health bar. Mm-hmm. So generally when you take damage, the orange health bar just goes right down with the red one. That orange builds up every time you land an attack on an enemy. Or there are some items, like some common items that you find in the world that also bump it up. And once you have a little bit of an orange bar, you can then break one of your healing vials, heal yourself, and like potentially get back up to full health if you have a full bar of orange. And like you have a finite number of the healing vials. Starts with 2. I'm up to 4 now. And you have the at least right now the 3 things that you can increase are your attack damage, your defense, and your how many health vials you have. And it's one of those, you know, like as it should be, every level for those, like doesn't quite double, but like close to it. Like level 1 is 1,000. I think level 2 was 2,500. Level 3 is 4,200. So like not like perfect numbers, but like it, it's all reasonable, and it's all just bones is your currency, which is good and bad. Because it's your currency for buying stuff and for leveling up. So if you want to like focus on leveling up, you have to collect a lot of bones. But you also potentially aren't buying stuff if you're focusing very much on leveling. And at the first couple hours, bones don't drop that much. But one of like the trinkets that you get that you like equip to to Mina is it makes the enemy's bones basically drop when you kill them, and then they just bounce around the screen. So as long as you can collect them before they either like time out or like bounce into like a pit, like you can actually farm them a little bit. I actually had to do that at one point. There was an enemy that I could not get past him. And I ended up just kind of, there was like this one nice little path where there were like 6 enemies in total that kind of like, they popped out at different times, so they weren't just all out at once. And I was able to just kind of like farm them for a little while to like boost my damage, which helped me take out the one enemy I just could not fucking get past. Combat's kind of cool. Unfortunately, the game doesn't give you the ability to just easily like change your weapon. You have to go buy other weapons. And I didn't realize that initially, because it very much does like a, hey, it's dangerous out there, take this moment at the beginning of the game, where the boat you're on gets attacked and you go below deck and there's a dude there who's like, grab a weapon from the chest and then head out. And you're presented with daggers, a whip, and a hammer. And some of the clips and stuff I'd seen of this, it seemed like people were generally using the whip. And with the Castlevania vibes, I felt like the whip was probably a good choice. It also had like some good distance to it and all. But so I haven't gotten to try like the daggers or the hammer yet to see like what they're like. So I was kind of hoping that it was just like like those are just common weapons and you can change between them. Because the guy kind of said like, if you want to change weapons, just come back. He literally meant before you leave that room, like take a weapon, hit the attack button a few times to see if you like it, and then come change it back. Which was a bummer, but like they're selling them in the stores in the game, or in some of the stores, I should say. They're just very expensive, and I've been holding bones to increase like my attack and defense, so that I'm not so squishy. At some point, I do want to pick up the other weapons though, just to kind of see. And it's got the classic Castlevania, like you get like the secondary weapon sort of thing. So far I've had like throwing daggers that kind of, they go out and spinning. So like they'll hit an enemy multiple times and then come back. And if you throw it right, like it'll come back and hit the enemy again too. And then you can actually hit it, like as it's coming back to you, if you time it right, you can just keep hitting it with your weapon and it'll keep flinging that same dagger back at the enemy. So it saves you like points on having to burn those. I've also gotten skipping stones, which were useless. Like a big throwing axe that you kind of just like lob it at an enemy, and when it hits the ground, it shatters and does like a little splash damage. And an umbrella that apparently it's good for like getting over like gaps and stuff. The problem I had with it is the way you use it is you hold Y to pull it out, and so on an Xbox controller, specifically, you hold Y to get it out, and then you have to hit A to like float with it. And every time I try to do that, I end up accidentally hitting B along with it, and B is the throw button, or X. One of the side buttons is basically the throw the weapon button. So every time I tried it, I just ended up throwing the thing by mistake. So I just like, all right, this is not working out. I'm just going to stick with the fucking actual weapons. I also haven't seen a point where I needed to float, so maybe later. It does seem to have a little bit of like I said, like it's got like some Castlevania vibes, maybe even a little bit of like Metroidvania, because I have hit some points where I can't progress yet, but I have a feeling there's either going to be like an item or a power up or something that will let me get through it. There's also like keys you find that you can just take back to locked areas. And so far the world's been pretty like open. Like once you get through the initial setup, I've just been coming and going places. I'm in a crypt right now, like fighting stuff. It's very Zelda-esque dungeon, which is cool. But I'm pretty sure if I just leave, I can just go back to like the main city if I want to. Yeah, other than that, it's got a very cool vibe. The music is really good. Like, it's the same people that made Shovel Knight.
Okay.
So, like, I know I never played Shovel Knight, but I know people love that game.
Mhm.
And like and if I remember correctly, Shovel Knight's like a full 2D like side scrolling game. And this one is like that like top down like Zelda adventure. But still in that like 8/16. It's definitely more 8-bit vibe, but I feel like it's pulling stuff from like the Super Nintendo era too. And it's just it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, I suck at it. I die way too much. And it does have the like go get your shit if you die thing. But the game, so it's like I don't know if other ones do it this way or not, because I just don't play a lot of these. But like once you collect 1,000 bones, it brings up like your level up dialogue, and that's when you can decide if you want to level up, or you can convert them into a gem that the gem just kind of like saves them, so that if you do die, you don't lose them, or you can just hold them, and if you die, you may potentially lose more than 1,000 bones if you don't get back to them before you die again. And so I've just been like converting that stuff to like the gem. This way, like if I die and I don't get back to my body, like it's not the end of the world. Like at most, like I've lost like 100 or 2 bones, like nothing like crazy. And the only other thing that happens when you die is you lose whatever your like secondary weapon is. And they're common enough when you're like breaking stuff in the world that like I've never had to go long without a secondary weapon. And I've also powered up my main weapon enough that while the whip's not perfect, it does so much more damage than like any of the other stuff that I don't use the other ones too often unless I'm trying to like bait somebody around. As far as combat goes, so Mina's like a little mouse, and so she can burrow. So like combat is a lot of jumping and then holding the jump button until you burrow underground. And then you have like probably less than 5 seconds. 2, maybe 3 seconds where you're like underground before you like burst out of it. But in a lot of cases you can go under most things. So like even enemies, like if you're fighting like a large enemy and it like charges you, if you can time it right, you can do the jump to get underground and then like get behind them and just start attacking them as soon as they like stop running, and then like just kind of keep doing that back and forth. I have not got the timing down great on that. For every like one good kind of one that I do, I probably have 2 or 3 bad ones where I just get fucked. But I'm still having fun with it, and like it all feels good.
Watch this be Cobb's entry into starting to like Metroidvania, or not Metroidvanias. I was
gonna say I like Metroidvanias.
I mean Soulsborne.
So I could see me actually enjoying this one long term, especially from what I heard. You get some like trinkets later that actually like negate a little bit of like the common like some of the stuff that I don't like in like the Souls like games. This game isn't as crushingly difficult as I find a lot of the Souls games that like turns me off to them. Maybe it gets there, and if it does get there, like I might not be playing it much longer. But so far, like everything has been doable with like just common sense. Like I don't have to like figure out like a boss strategy. I just have to like not rush into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I genuinely get fucking bored having to fight like the same thing too many times, because it's like, you know, depending on how long the fight takes, like you're just doing the same stuff over and over, like cutting them around the room or whatever.
Yeah, but, I mean, not really, but sure.
I mean that's been my experience, and it's like I said, I don't find it enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I get you. I was just teasing you. That's all. You know that.
But this one, like this one's been fun so far. And like it does, like there's been like 2 boss fights, 2.5 boss fights, and like they've all been pretty like straightforward. Like there's not like a bunch of phases to them or anything like that. Like the first one was a bit sketchy because it's like literally the beginning. It's one of those like beginning of the game boss fights where like the game's just like, here's a giant monster, fucking good luck. And then like the next 2 are like you've gotten kind of the hang of it at least, and they're definitely like not as hard. Frankly, some of the just enemies in the world have been harder than that those 2 like second bosses were. Because like I think the one was supposed to be like a dragoon or something like that, because he did a lot of jumps. And so like one of his things was like he'd jump in the air and it would do like the shadow on the ground because he was trying to like hit you. So it was a very common like boss trope in games. So it was just like stop for a second, move as soon as the shadow stops, and then jump when he lands so that you don't get like the shockwave, and then you get like 3 or 4 like free hits in while like the boss kind of like recovers from it. So like stuff like that. But yeah, it's been fun. Like I can see why people have been raving about this game since it came out, I think in April or May.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Based on graphically, it's not my cup of tea.
No, it's very like retro.
But like based on everything else I've heard or seen about it, I'm like, this does sound pretty fun. That it's on the wish list to maybe get eventually. Not right away.
Yeah, I can understand. Because you don't often go for like the like old like 16-bit style stuff.
No,
but
that just doesn't play well with my eyes sometimes.
Yeah. I will say like even if you don't want to play the game, it's actually worth just looking up like the intro to the game. Like they did such a good job both with like the music feeling like something out of like the late 80s or 90s on like the Nintendo, and like the visuals both feeling from that era but also feeling modern. Like it's just that it's kind of perfect. It has like, again, it's got like Castlevania vibes, maybe even like Mega Man, like because like they kind of do like one of those like scale up castle kind of shots to it. That was like reminding me of like Castlevania and Mega Man games. So cool though, it's very cool.
Nice, yeah.
Rich, did you watch the first 3 episodes of Bleach?
Yeah. So Fathom Events and Viz were doing the thing where they released the first couple of episodes of the new season of an anime or whatever, and in a movie format. I was honestly straight up expecting to see the intro and outro credits 3 times, but no, they just ran it all in one. And this was such a fucking tease, because the last sequences you see are like, so nothing resolves in the first 3 episodes. Nothing that's going, with the exception of Urahara's fight with his guy. So you get to see his Bankai finally. Outside of that, like you see a little bit of the fight of the Vizards and Gerard Valkyrie, and then Kenpachi arrives and uses his release, but he doesn't go Bankai. He just uses Sekai, and this is the first time they note and make focus on Hitsugaya's flowers crumbling faster. That's it, because I know when his flowers crumble all the way, he turns into an adult. So and then like they show a little bit. Apparently, they've added to the fight and stuff with Ishida and the guy that he's fighting. Like apparently there wasn't much of a fight in the mangas. There's an actual fight between the two of them, and they showcase that a bit, but there's no like end to that. It's still ongoing. And you have Ichigo and Urahime up against Yuhabak, or however you're supposed to pronounce his fucking name, that's spelled with a YHWCH, but is not pronounced the way it's spelled. They're fighting him, and they tease, and this is within like the last 5 minutes of the first. Like you get a frame or two of him releasing his Bankai. You see the what is it, the Mask of Hope or whatever they call it, or the Horn of Hope or whatever. Like they show that the teasers, like what the trailers that you see is exactly what you get in this first 3 episodes, and I was just like, it's such a tease. It's such a tease. Like I'm happy I went and saw it, but like now I gotta wait. Let's see, the 25th. So that's 3 weeks from now. Well, kind of more like 4 weeks, but it's 4 Saturdays from now. And then I gotta wait 3 more weeks after that to get to a new episode. And I'm just like, it really does show how much this final season should have just been like a couple of movies or something like that. And not as much just straight up a series. Like, watching them back to back was so much better than watching them episode by episode, like once a week. But like it was good. It was good. Animation was great. Everything's great. I'm hyped about it. And there was actually like a 15 to 20 minute like post credits where it was Tete Kubo and the directors and whatnot of the anime talking about these 3 episodes and everything that's going on and explaining like how they extended the fight between Urahara and his guy that he was fighting and like made it longer to showcase more of his Bankai and like just talking about it all. And I'm like, this thing was like $15 to go see or whatever.
Oh, that's actually not bad.
And yeah, no, it was $15 to $17. It wasn't that bad. And like 20 minutes afterwards, you stay to watch. Everyone was gone by the time credits rolled. And I'm like, I went into this not knowing that there was going to be an end thing, but assuming there was going to be some sort of like talk with the directors and whatnot. But like, you could have just waited 3 weeks. You could have just waited a month and just watched these for free. Well, not free, but like, free. Instead of paying to come see these. It was just like a weird concept to me of like, why wouldn't you stay to watch this? You paid for it. I didn't understand that.
I mean, to be fair, like some people just don't care about interviews.
True, but then what are you getting from seeing this and then having to wait 6 weeks to see it again, to see more?
Like, I mean, yes, but like it's the same like when people go to like conventions and go see like the early screenings of that stuff. Like because usually with those there is no one there to talk about it other than like people from like the distributor who like have nothing to do with the creation of it.
True, but that's free generally.
I mean, like free as in like you paid $100 to go to the convention.
You paid $100 to go to the convention. That was one of the things you did at the convention. You did not pay $100 to go to the thing. I will argue this to the end of the earth.
So I only say this because I've seen people say online that they go to those specifically for showings. So like there are people that will spend $100 just to go get in line for like the world premiere of something that the rest of the episodes won't air for 6 months.
Sure, but are they going just for the one showing, or are they going for multiple showings? Like, no, if you're going for one showing, you're a fool. But if you're going for multiple things, like that's the thing. Like, and again, that is also your choice to be dumb and spend $100 to go to get a pass to a convention just to watch one thing. Like, I'm sitting here thinking $17 was a bit much to like not watch the 15 minutes of post interview. And if somebody sits there and pays $100 to go see the first episode of Bleach, like we missed out at New York Comic Con many years ago. Like, if that's all you got your Comic Con tickets for, you're wasting so much money.
I mean, people like wasting money.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's true.
But like, to me, I'm just like, you paid for this. You should just stay in. Like, you'll find out some cool info. Like, there was detail in this that like you wouldn't know without watching this thing. So like. There's a scene, Cobb, you've read the manga, so you might remember this scene. But it's when Ichigo is in his fight before he unleashes his Bankai, where Orihime grabs him, and it's like, Ichigo, calm down. Or something like that. Like, you're getting too angry, or you're getting too worked up. And she grabs his jacket, and he looks back. And, like, has this smirk on his face, like, I got you, basically it's a thanks for calming me down. And the scene in the manga, the way it was drawn, it's very, like, you see a bunch of lines under his chin. It's very stylized. And in this anime adaptation, they put that scene that's drawn in the manga there. And, like, you don't notice it unless you pause it at that scene. But, like, the little lines underneath his chin that are supposed to represent his shadow, you see those lines underneath the shadow that they've also colored over. Like, they did meticulous detail to copy some of these scenes, like, line by line in the anime. I was just like, that's incredible. That's incredible. That's so cool to find out and learn. And it blew my mind. I just thought it was funny. But, like, the upcoming, the finale of Bleach, potential finale of Bleach, or at least the finale of 1,000 Year Blood War. The first 3 episodes were really good.
I keep seeing something that, like, there's rumors that, like, there might be like a new manga arc maybe happening.
they may be adapting all of the
Hell arc from the movie, right?
The Hell, not the movie. Like there was a post. There were like light novels and stuff that took place after the anime. They may be adapting that into a manga and then into an anime in and of itself that goes into its own Hell arc, not the movie Hell arc and stuff like that. That takes place post all of this stuff.
Oh, it is actually after all of this.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Hell arc that we know is like it's its own thing. It's not canon. It's nothing. It's all made up, but kind of like
I don't know the Hell. I've never. No, I can't say that. I watched the first Bleach movie, maybe the second one. I think one of them was like Memories of Nobody,
which I believe is the Hell movie.
Is it? Maybe I didn't watch that one then because I don't remember anything about Hell. I might just remember that name. The first Bleach movie.
It's called Hellverse. It's obvious. It's legitimately called Hellverse.
The movie's called Hellverse.
Yeah, the movie is called Hellverse. And it actually
Memories of Nobody was a 2006 movie, so that's the one I saw.
Yeah. Hellverse, like he even like at one point gets like crazy looking armor while they're in hell, and I can't remember the full story. But yeah, that movie, the Hellverse movie, has nothing to do with like anything of the Hell arc, which is something that which was from like light novels and stuff that take place several years after the anime or the manga ends, where Orihime and Ichigo are married and they have a son. Renji and Rukia are married. They have a daughter, and this is when you find out that like Ichigo uses his substitute Soul Reaper badge and ability to go in and out of the Soul Society to just fast travel around the world, because he can. He just has that. It's cheaper than flying, stuff fair. Like that. Yeah. But yeah. So like, there's rumors that Kubo may be adapting all of that stuff into manga and expanding on it. This is where we'll get what's his name with the double scythe?
The Grim Reaper?
The Soul Reaper with the double scythes, and he has a 69 on his cheek. You actually get to he learns and gets use of his Bankai, and you get to learn about his Bankai a bit and stuff like that as well. And you learn about the 7th Kenpachi and his Bankai, and there's a whole big world that goes on beyond this that like they may be adapting to a manga and anime series.
Yeah, and I know the little bit I saw about it was like people are looking at, I guess there's 1 or 2 long-running manga that are about to end in Shonen Jump. Mm-hmm. But there's been no like actual communication that this is actually happening. I think people are just like trying to tie threads together.
Yeah, it's rumor and speculation at best.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see if he does come back, because like I feel like 1,000-Year Blood War did kind of revitalize it a little bit.
Yeah, like I would rather him come back with some of his other properties. I would rather him read or write more for Zombie Powder, which was something he was writing and making when he was also making Bleach, and then Bleach got too big, so he had to stop writing Zombie Powder. Zombie Powder only got six volumes, and it was great. It was a really cool concept. Could I tell you what it's about right now? No, it's been a while since I read it, but I just remembered I really liked it. But also maybe I really liked it just because I like his stuff. And then also the other series that's within the same universe as Bleach that you talked about a while back. Like they didn't hint at that, but they talked about that in like the trailers before the anime at the theaters. Like you could expand your knowledge of Bleach by reading the manga of this world, which is within the same universe, and this and that, blah blah blah. So there's like, I love Bleach and I want them to continue with Bleach. I don't really know if they necessarily need to stick with Ichigo. Like there's just so much more, and like I don't know how, like that's the problem with these future series is like Boruto and doing something new with Bleach is like, we're already dealing with world-ending shit now. How much more worse could the world end going forward?
I mean, they can always escalate. You've been watching anime long enough. They can always escalate.
I know, but the problem is, and it's the problem with Boruto and why they had to capture Naruto in an alternate dimension and whatnot, is you have fucking gods living among men. So, like, you can't really go stronger because you have the strongest people in the world already. You've got Ichigo, who is the strongest Shinigami. Like he can stop anything. Like and now that he's over, like the whole theme, like, and this is from me reading up on stuff. The whole theme of
Do you
Bleach
know how it ends?
I don't know necessarily how it ends, but I do know that like I don't know how it ends. I haven't read up on how it ends. I just know like the fight and things get pretty wild.
I'm curious how you'll feel about the way like the final fights and all go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's what three villains left to kill.
So we haven't watched it since I think the first core. Like when I found out that they were going to drag it out for what has it been 4 years?
3 years.
3 years.
Or three cores. Right?
I thought it was 4 cores. Isn't this the 4th core?
Oh, well, let's just find out.
But like once I saw how they were dragging it out, I'm like, I'm just gonna wait until it's all done and watch it because I don't need the big gaps between them because they were doing like they were doing like 7 episodes or something like that, and then like 6-month breaks, right?
They were doing like 13 episodes per season.
Oh, was it 13?
Yeah. All right, so it was 4, but season 3 was 27 to 40. So yeah, they were doing about 13 episodes per season. And it's just the problem was season 3 to season 4 had a longer break than the other 3 did. The other 3 it was yearly, and this one's been over a year and a half, I believe. Yeah, according to Disney Plus, it was 2022 to 2024, and now we're in 2026. So it's been over a year and a half since season 3 ended. But at least they're not doing season 3 and releasing it in 3 separate parts and having 3 separate premieres of the final season. Even though they technically did do the final season with 4 separate parts. But they made it its own anime and not...
They're not doing it like Attack on Titan, where it's the final season part 1, the final season part 2, the final season part 3, the final season final part 1.
Yeah, motherfucker, then it's not the final season. Final season is when it's the actual final season. And you also you tried to justify fucking genocide in this fucking anime. It's terrible. It's bullshit. I could go on and on about how bad that was and how frustrating it was. What was that? What'd you say?
I said, do you have anything else about Bleach?
No, we can move on.
Cool. Well, I finally watched Superman.
Finally.
I also went and saw Supergirl today.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah. I thought Superman was actually pretty good though.
I loved Superman.
I enjoyed it. Like
I thought it was incredible when I watched Superman. Yeah. Like
it was significantly better than I expected it to be. Just like I legitimately like I kind of knowing where a lot of the DC movies have been in the past, like I kind of went into it with like low expectations, and like I thought it was a little too. It had a little too much going on and not quite enough like oomph at certain points. But like I thought the cast was phenomenal, and like they did a legitimately good job with it. Like they made Superman interesting, which is something that is actually hard to do.
Yeah, it's something that's
even
hard
personality.
To do. Yeah, it's something that's hard to do, especially when like the past all of the Superman movies or the recent Superman movies we've seen, and especially DC in general, have gone very dark. Where this one they kept it more lighthearted and they kept it more of just like they're not going to go down that dark path of like potentially having Lois Lane get killed by Joker or some shit like that. Like they're going like a light path. They're going like, you know, this world just has superheroes and people are and they're in it, and it's just there's no big like there's no slow reveal of superheroes. It's just they're just there. This world just has superheroes. And
they also jumped into it with like this happened, you know, Superman's been around for a couple of years. He's not new. Yeah. Like they're not making us sit through an origin story again. Like he's already dating Lois. Like she already knows he's Superman. Like they're not making us watch that stuff again.
Yeah.
And they did
with Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man, we've seen Uncle Ben die how many times? We don't need to see him die again. Like he's already established, but also in the MCU, Uncle Ben.
We don't need to see Pete get his powers either. Like none of that stuff needed to happen. And like it was the same with this. I do feel that that like some of the relationships didn't quite feel right. Like frankly, his relationship with the Kents felt weird until until the moment on the bench with his dad. Like, something about it, like, early on just felt a little off for, like, how Superman is usually portrayed when it comes to, like, his family.
I mean, you'd have to remind me. It's been a while. It's been a year since I've seen the movie.
So they call him early on, and he's just like rushing around, like, as Clark Kent, like, "Hey, sorry, I can't talk right now," sort of thing. And like, you definitely get the impression that he hasn't like seen them in a long time. And his dad is like very like quiet. And like, I'm used to seeing him portrayed as more of a like, both of them as more of like a force in his life. And you actually don't get that until he gets injured and they get him out of the like that negative zone or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with because the story they're trying to tell was leaning less on the fact that like he was fully accepting of his parents. Like they show it throughout the movie that like he still honors his mom and dad and sees his mom and dad from Krypton as his parents. Like and it's not until the very end where he realizes that his parents were the Kents situation. So like I think I get what you're saying, but like I think they were leaning on that as a like as a he cares for them, but they're not top priority, especially because he is this superhero that's within this world that is trying to do the best he can do, and be the hero that the world may need based on the wishes of his parents that he's never known.
Right. But like aside from that, like Lex was great. Nicholas Hoult, fantastic Lex.
Yeah.
Rachel Brosnahan was a great Lois. I actually did not like Guy Gardner or Hulk Girl. I like Nathan Fillion. I don't know the girl from anything. I just didn't like them in this movie. Like, I like the characters, not the actors. The actors did a fine job.
Yeah, I mean the character they were made to be more anti-hero-esque. So yes, I get that. Like,
I don't mean dislike them like they kind of sucked. Like, I didn't like them being in the movie. Like, I felt like they didn't add anything to the movie other than like a couple like comedic moments. Whereas like Mr. Terrific was a genuine part of the movie.
Mr. Terrific was fantastic.
Metamorpho was a genuine part of the movie.
Yeah.
Those two were just kind of there, and it's like, okay, sure, whatever. Like, they're there, but I feel like you cut all their scenes out, and you could have just had more scenes that actually like had an impact, I guess. But like legitimately, like other than like minor complaints like that, like it was actually they did a really good job with it.
They did.
I also really liked how they would weave in the 1978 John Williams Superman score. Like the theme for Superman it's kind of like the Star Wars theme. Like you hear that and you know exactly what that music's from, or the Rocky theme for that matter. Excuse me. My only other complaint is like a silly one. I don't like how they did Ultraman. I think that was a cool idea. I wish they didn't call him Ultraman is actually my complaint.
Because Ultraman was basically Bizarro Superman.
So in this, yes. So it's weird. So they kind of like merged a couple things. So there's a Bizarro Superman who's from Bizarro world, like a separate universe where everything is just backwards. During the New 52, and it's still a thing that like is considered canon, they introduced a new Bizarro that was actually like a failed clone of Superman from Lex. That like actually went on to be a hero. And then Ultraman is from Earth 3, which is like the evil Earth. That's the one where like Owlman is the Batman and it's the crime syndicate. And Ultraman is actually powered by kryptonite. So like he literally like eats and snorts kryptonite to get powered up. And if I forget if it's actually this or not, but I think the yellow sun actually weakens him. So like there was a storyline a while ago where he actually blocked out the sun so that he wouldn't be weakened, and that's how they took over the Earth. But that might not be like totally canon because that was also during the New 52, and a lot of that stuff got a little like wishy-washy at times, and they kind of cherry picked what they were keeping and what they weren't. But I wish they would have just called him, maybe not called him Bizarro, but not called him Ultraman.
Yeah. I feel like they should have just like I get what they were doing by not calling him Bizarro, even though that's basically what it was. Because he also had like the opposite breaths and stuff, right? Like he had like fire breath and ice eyes, if I remember correctly. Like, he was Bizarro.
Yeah,
like,
I think you're right.
I get what they were doing by calling him Ultraman and hiding the fact that because you had to hide the fact that he was a clone.
Yeah.
So, like, I get what they were doing, but, like, I understand that like, I wish they would have just leaned more on him being Bizarro. But, like, maybe that he's not necessarily dead. I think he was, like, sucked into
he was thrown into a black hole.
He was thrown into the black hole, so he could essentially come back as true Bizarro.
Yeah, I mean that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like, and it's not out of the realm of the comics that Lex cloned Superman. Like one of the more popular Superboys is legitimately the clone of Superman that is a mix of Superman and Lex's DNA.
Yeah.
Like Connor Kent, that is his backstory.
Yeah.
He's Superboy that wears the leather jacket.
Mm-hmm.
He's the cool Superboy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's, what did you like, the pretty much the whole story and like lesson and everything that they were trying to show of like acceptance, and like the line at the end when he's yelling at Luthor where he's like, I'm just as human as everyone else. I get up every day, put my shoes on, and do my best to be as good as I can be. Like, that hit me so hard, especially at the time that the movie came out, because I mean, it's still very powerful now with everything going on politically with ICE and shit like that. Like, that
I mean, it only came out a year ago, so like not that much has changed. If anything, things have gotten worse.
Yeah, but like a year ago was it was less than a year ago was when like it started ramping up hardcore.
True.
And that's where it hit hard. Like, it hit. It was my favorite line of any superhero movie ever.
Yeah, like that whole scene. And I think it worked even better because it was sorry, I have something like stuck in the back of my throat. It was kind of bookmarked by Crypto.
Yeah.
Just doing the Hulk on Lex.
Yeah.
Like that, because it was like this very like poignant moment, like broken up by comedy. But like, whereas like my complaint about like Thor Ragnarok was how much they ruined the emotional beats with stupid jokes. This movie did it right. Like,
because they gave that emotional beat weight. Like, yes, Crypto did get his chance, but like they sat on that moment for just enough time for it to have its weight before, like, because Crypto didn't just come out as soon as he was done the line. Crypto came out when Luthor was like going to do something.
Right. And like, you know, like it ended like Crypto does that to him, and then like it's Superman going like, dude, come, like literally he says, dude, come on.
Yeah.
I think that was the thing too, like the Snyderverse Superman never felt like Superman. He didn't really feel like a person though either. He was just always very stoic and withdrawn, except for like a handful of moments. Yeah. This Superman feels like a person.
Yeah.
Like he has a couple of emotional outbursts at different times. Like when Crypto first gets taken, he crashes into LexCorp and like flips the fuck out at them.
Yeah, yeah.
And that plays to Lex's, that plays to Lex's plan, but like that is something that the movies don't often show you Superman doing. It doesn't show you it doesn't show him having emotions like that and being like human.
Yeah.
And like frankly, like that, as much as I didn't like Green Lantern and Hulk Girl in the movie, like just being in the movie, I do think the moment at the end when Superman was fighting Bizarro, and all the stuff with Lex was happening in Metropolis, that like those kids like lift the flag up in the other country and everyone starts chanting for Superman, and it's Green Lantern, Hulk Girl, and Metamorpho that show up. Yeah. Like, I thought that was actually a good moment.
Yeah, it was. It was an incredible movie.
Like they did a legitimately good job with it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to Man of Tomorrow, which I think comes out next year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, it's the in between of Supergirl, which, let's just move on. What did you think of Supergirl? I thought it was good.
Like, it was fine. Yeah, it was like, as good as Superman.
Yeah.
I have some weird complaints of just about like it's some really stupid stuff. They played way too much Earth music in these bars and shit. Like at one point I forget the song, but they go into that one bar with a live singer singing fucking Earth songs, an alien singer singing songs from Earth.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that that's just how it was translated, but yeah, I get
everyone else wasn't speaking English. Like,
I know,
we're either speaking a different language or like speaking broken English, and then this lady is singing something in perfect English.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was weird. It was. I agree. Like it was like I didn't hate it that much, but I do understand the complaint because I was just like, you're right. Like, why is she singing Earth music?
Yeah,
like
my other complaint is mostly because of the comic that they kind of loosely based this on, because they changed a lot from it. In the comic, Supergirl does not get into a yellow sun like till the very end. So while they took her powers away again before like the final confrontation, I kind of wish that this would have been her having to make do with just like whatever skills she has that aren't derived from a yellow sun.
Yeah. I see your complaint, but you are going into this knowing the comic. Most people, such as myself, are going into this not knowing the comic. And I would not be complaining about this because I think that would be a cool concept of her. I understand the idea of the suns, but for the people that don't understand the idea of the different suns, even though it is slightly explained, if they get a whole movie of super something and there's only the last 5 minutes of them actually being super, they are going to complain that wasn't a Supergirl movie, that was a Kara Zor-El movie, just the same as they had complained about Iron Man 3 being a Tony Stark movie and not an Iron Man.
To be fair, people are complaining about this one anyway.
Oh, but people are complaining about this one because of Girl. So,
this was a Kara movie. She was not Supergirl, even when she had her powers. Like, she wasn't Supergirl. Like, and that's the good part of the movie is her kind of like not being the hero. And I think like her and the girl that played Ruthie were fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Great. I think Jason Momoa, perfect casting for Lobo. Lobo didn't need to be in the movie.
Yeah, he was a little awkward. Like, I didn't see a need for him. I agree with you on that. I think he was fun. I think he was a fun character. It was an introduction to a character that we may not get more of. Like, I felt like he wasn't entirely necessary, except for pushing a little bit of the plot along. But even then, like, he didn't really do much to push the plot along.
Yeah,
without him, it's Indiana Jones. Without him, stuff still would have happened for the most part.
Yeah, exactly. Like they could have done everything they did in the movie without him being in it.
Yeah.
But like again, I think he was a great Lobo. So like where I felt Green Lantern and Hulk Girl were just unnecessary, and like while I think they did a fine job, like they were kind of a waste in that movie. I don't think Lobo was needed, but I at least had fun when I saw him.
Yeah.
But like I had fun with the movie. Like it's not my favorite like superhero movie, but like it was good, and I think that where apparently so she is a main character in Man of Tomorrow. So like where they left it off, like I think they'll be able to actually like build off of her, and like I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, like the movie like really leans into it's a coming of age story. Literally, it is her birthday, but like it's a coming of age and her understanding that like she can be more than what she is, and to understand that as much as she's getting over her grief and as much as she's lost, there's more that she can hold on to and keep and save. Yeah. And I think like people are complaining that like the writing for the villain, like the main villain, which I thought it was a strange call to have I don't know much about what are they, Marauders or whatever they were called.
Brigands.
I don't really know if they're like a real true villain or if they were just.
As far as I know, that like so that is the actual plot from the comics. So Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, like easily one of the best comics of the last 20 years, like without a doubt. Like spoilers for the Supergirl movie if you haven't seen it. The whole setup is basically the same. These guys show up on a planet. They kill the girl's parents. She's out for revenge. Same, like, she walks into a bar and has her little spiel trying to get people to, like, help her. Kara ends up being the one stuck with her. And then she doesn't have a spaceship, though, that I remember. but they shoot Crypto, and it's the same deal of like Kara is in it trying to find the antidote to save Crypto.
Yeah.
And a lot of the similar stuff happens. Like they take random transports and stuff like that to like get where they're going, but they are just kind of like generic space pirates that they're hunting for, and it's just I forget how many issues Woman of Tomorrow was, because it was like a mini series. But it is kind of like it's the things that happen to them along the way are what flesh out the rest of the story. And like I feel like they kind of kept the frame of the story, but did its own thing with the movie.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why they introduced Lobo, is because the villain is just generic space pirate. That's not an actual villain. So they maybe had Lobo in it to kind of tease a possible villain, and even though he wasn't, he was very much anti-hero within this. Like, that's probably why they had him in, and to get the name as well. Which you're right, they didn't need him. It was weird that they even though they were sticking true to the story, that they just went with a random space pirate kind of situation. Like, I'm sure they probably could have pulled some villain out of the DC universe that could have connected a little bit better to make this make the end, like the end all be all, like the end enemy was just a guy that doesn't have powers. Like,
no, so they say they're like immortal or something.
No, they said Lobo was immortal.
Right, Lobo's immortal, but they had super strength and shit. Like the dude caught a tank earlier in the movie with one hand.
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, those guys had like they were not just normal like humanoids. Like they had superpowers. They were faster, they were stronger. Like, yeah. That's why they weren't all just dead when Supergirl shot them with her heat vision or punched them through walls.
Yeah.
That ending fight though, I will say, like when she finally shows up in the Supergirl suit, like that whole ending section they did a great job on. Like when she grabs the bad guy, and I don't remember exactly what the line was, but she grabs him and says, "We weren't properly introduced. I'm the bitch whose dog you shot." And then punches him again. Like that was a great line.
The fight sequences in general in this movie were very good fight sequences.
They were better than Superman. Like the only good fight in Superman was the Mr. Terrific fight on the beach.
Yeah.
Superman did not have a single good fight.
Yeah, whereas this one, like the camera work and everything that they did, the cinematography to showcase these fights, and how they like kind of were a lot of like single take type shots. Like it really did feel like they tried to mimic that Mr. Terrific fight like twice in this movie. Like there were two really good fight sequences. Once at the very end when she was during the tornado basically, and then once on the planet when Ruthie got captured. Like there were two really good fights, or not when she got captured, but when like they got away on that planet. Like, there were just some really good fight sequences and like really good fight choreography that like I don't see anybody talking about. Everyone is out here that's complaining is complaining because like, oh, the scripting wasn't that great. The writing for the villain wasn't that great. Well, to be honest, the villain wasn't that great in general. Like you're not always going to get like A tier villain writing in a movie. Like this is a movie about space pirates poisoning a dog and a superhero trying to save their dog. Like you're not going to get the best writing all the time in these movies. It's not always about the writing. It's always there's more to it, but it's also about the underlying story and of what they're trying to showcase. Like the villain had nothing to do with anything else that they were trying to do in the movie besides just being a villain.
Yeah. I mean, like you're rewatching all of the Marvel movies. Like, what have there been? Like two good Marvel villains?
I mean,
like two legitimately good villains.
Yeah, like, and really, like the best Marvel movie, in my opinion, even now, like, number one Marvel movie is The Winter Soldier, and there's not really a singular villain in The Winter Soldier.
No. It's government.
It's government. It's red tape. It's, and then like outside, like Ultron was written very well. Ultron was a cool villain. Like Loki was just the love of everyone's life, which is why he continued to push on. I wouldn't say he was a bad villain, but I also like wouldn't consider him a good. Like he is the only villain that survived more than one movie. Like that's the other problem is they don't last long. So like it is hard to say. Like other than that, like you got Ultron, and then you got Thanos. Like I'm trying to think. Ant-Man's villain was okay. What's his name? Gideon or whatever his friggin' name is. Yeah, like there's never really like a great villain. Like Thanos is a good villain, but I really only feel like Thanos is a good villain because he lasts technically 3 movies. Like he lasts several movies,
and he's a background threat leading up to him finally showing up.
Yeah. And then, like, to be honest, like you didn't see Quantumania, but like Quantumania,
I did, and I thought Kang was actually shit. Like I didn't like Kang at all.
I thought Kang was really good in Quantumania, but I was excited to see more of Kang. I was ready for more of Kang.
I also don't like Kang, like just in general. Yeah. Like he is one of those like Avengers villains I find incredibly fucking boring because he's a time traveler. Like,
and then I'm trying to think, like Dormammu being that's even the problem with like say Doctor Strange is like the villain is technically. The villain was someone who was trying to release Dormammu, and then
it was Mads Mikkelsen's character.
Yeah, who like I don't even remember if he had an actual name.
He did, and he's like a common like Doctor Strange like rival villain, and I can't think of his name right now.
And then they even build up at the end of Doctor Strange like another like one of the other sorcerers becoming his now villain. And then in Multiverse of Madness, he's not even in it as himself. Like, he's in it as a part of the Illuminati in an alternate universe. He's not in it as the character we know in the MCU. So it's like, yeah, like, it's a very, like, I guess maybe Wanda is a good, even Wanda's not that great of it, because she's going through a lot, like, she's traumatized. She's dealing with her trauma in a bad way. Like
that at least makes her an interesting villain, though.
Yeah, like the way she goes about things and stuff like that makes her an interesting villain. But really, the only good, interesting villain we could find is a hero.
I mean, look, there's Loki and Wanda are like the two.
Yeah, like Loki, Wanda, Thanos. Like it's not out of 37 movies. None of the villains have been necessarily super compelling or super like they're all made to be disliked, and it like that's why I think of anything and why I liked Kang is he was at least well written in a sense of like, well, what is he? What is going on? And like he actually did bring up some fear, like he was well written enough to be like, oh, this could be bad, especially with the fear that Janet shows and showcases in that movie of how scary Kang could be. But yeah, even like friggin' Black Widow is just the Red Room is really all it is. It's an organization. And I think that also leads into a lot of the problems. It's just organizations that are the villains in these movies. Iron Man 3, he kind of sucked.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like superhero movies historically don't have great villains.
Yeah,
because in most cases, like they're just a means to an end, and they're usually kind of finished in a movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think these guys worked for the story that is Supergirl.
Yeah, they did. Like that, and that's I'm basically on the same level as you are. Like Supergirl, it was a good movie. It was, and that's like it wasn't as good as Superman, but it was still good. I don't think it deserves some of the hate that it's getting. As like ratings wise, like Rotten Tomatoes has it like critic score is under 50%, but fan score is like 70%, which I would say probably is about where it should be. 70%, something like that. I don't think it should be getting a lot of the negative press that it is getting within a movie, and it definitely should be getting the negative anti-woke culture press because men are mad because girl. Like they just gotta get over it and stop being gross. And I see people complaining about how Millie Alcock looks like.
Oh yeah, and that all started with fucking that douchebag Dean Cain.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, and again, like for my complaints about the movie, it's mostly for like the plot and not the acting. Like she was fantastic.
Yeah, she was great. Like I don't find an actual like acting wise, none of the characters are necessarily bad. It was like and like even writing wise, outside of the villain, like the writing for everything else was good. The storytelling, the like learning about what happened to Krypton and fucking what's it called?
It was nice that they actually did Argo City.
Argo City, which like now my only experience with Supergirl and Argo City is the DCEU, or not DCE, is the CW verse, is a CW Arrowverse. Is that is that a different type of interpretation of Argo City, or is that something they brought into themselves? Because like,
so I mean, So I actually don't know about the kryptonite poisoning part of it.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, Argo City was like a section of Krypton that basically like bubbled itself away before it exploded.
Yeah.
So like in the Supergirl show, if I remember correctly, the way that they play it up is she was stuck in a
in the negative realm or whatever.
Yeah, in like the Phantom Zone or something like that. And that's so by the time she got out, like no time had passed for her, but 20 years had passed on Earth.
She was sent out at the same time as Clark, and that's how like he aged older than her. And in this one, it like I don't know much about DC. I thought that was like the common story of she gets stuck in the negative zone for years.
So I mean, like Supergirl is a character that they've like re-origined a bunch of times because there's pre-crisis, post-crisis, New 52, Rebirth, she's a character that they don't seem to be able to like actually like figure out. Because she was also one of the few heroes that died during the original Infinite Crises back in the 80s. It was her and Barry Allen. She came back first. Barry Allen was dead for like 20, 25 years. But yeah, like so like I legitimately don't know if like the current like which ones the current books come off of. But I know that like the Argo City stuff is generally really part of her origin. And like she has been angry at times. Like she was actually a Red Lantern for a while, but I also think that was during New 52.
Mm-hmm. So according to Gemini, the Silver Age origin is she was living in Argo City, and then the force field or whatever, that with the shielding that was protecting Krypton or Argo City from the kryptonite poisoning, it was a lead shielding, gets destroyed from a meteor shower, and so they sent her off land. But that's the Silver Age origin, and then it goes into modern and film. So
yeah, and like I said, there are a bunch of different origins for Supergirl. I'm not sure why, but there are.
Yeah.
But again, like the movie was fun. Like I enjoyed it. So
yeah, I thought it was great. I had fun. It doesn't deserve a 54% review rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's critic review, right?
That's critic review?
Like critics are stupid.
Yeah, it's 76% for fan, which like I think that's reasonable enough.
Yeah, honestly, like I think that fan review is actually accurate. Like it's not perfect. I have complaints, but like I had fun watching it.
Yeah, and I think people should just stop complaining about Girl and just accept that girls are going to be in movies.
Yeah, I will say I liked the Jimmy Eat World cover they used during the final battle.
Yeah, it was great. It was is it Willie Nelson, right?
No,
wait. No, what was I watching that had a Willie Nelson?
I just said it was a Jimmy Eat World cover. It was the middle.
What were they covering?
The middle.
Who was covering it?
It was a girl. I actually don't know who it was. It was like it was kind of like a folky acoustic version of the middle. Do you know which song the middle is? I'm sorry. Yeah. Like I just realized I was just saying that and wasn't sure if you knew the song.
Yeah, I do.
Like during the when Kara shows up as Supergirl, and there's the point she shows up in the suit. She gets hit by those kryptonite arrows and is like a little off kilter for a while. then she goes, she gets rid of the arrows, gets like the little power up from the sun, and then fucking just goes nuts on the guys that are about to actually attack Ruthie in like the big like circle pit thing. And while that part is happening, the background music is this like acoustic female version of the middle.
And then it was something else that I was watching that had like Willie Nelson covering something that I wasn't expecting, and now I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I could not tell you a Willie Nelson song if I heard one. So
no, he was covering a popular song that you would know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. This was like a female singing the middle, and like it was good. But that's probably a show, right?
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you'd like to find some more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with your dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, rate us, review us, subscribe to us. Those things all help. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @one_quest on Instagram and Twitter. And our blue sky is at one-quest.com. YouTube is youtube.com/onequestvideo. And you can always find us, or no, sorry, I'm all sorts of over the place. You can always send us an email at social@one-quest.com. And then, Rich, what is your streaming looking like?
It was The Scientist in The Judge that we watched fucking last week. Willie Nelson covered Coldplay's The Scientist. And
I don't
the
know
end
that
credits
song.
of The Judge.
Oh, it was over the credits, that's why.
I did not watch the credits. I
didn't watch them either, but it was literally the first song that was playing when I was like, and who the fuck is this? And it was
the second credits came on, I turned that thing off.
The only Coldplay song I know is the one about missionaries. Is that The Scientist?
You're probably you probably are thinking of Viva La Vida. Is it dun 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 dun?
Yeah, that one.
It's Viva La Vida.
Okay, I don't like Coldplay, so they're not somebody that like I know much of their music. I probably heard The Scientist. I just don't know what it is right now.
I'm trying to find the chorus to just remember. I don't know. I don't know. I know The Scientist if I hear it. I just don't know it because I don't listen to Coldplay that much.
Yeah,
but sorry.
Yeah, but go ahead. What's your streaming look like?
Twitch.tv/me_Walnuts for video game streaming. Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Still working on Hollow Knight and whatnot. I kind of just took this week off because I just have not been feeling it. So I'll be back to streaming tomorrow at least for Sea of Thieves. But then when I'll be back full time, probably on Sunday with more Hollow Knight and stuff. So just come hang out.
Nice. I did just listen to like a second of The Scientist. I've heard that song before. I actually didn't know it was Coldplay. I don't like the song though, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. All right. Well, with that, we'll be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.